Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan. Once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. As they say that there are no accidents. When we meet somebody or when we feel a deep connection to somebody or we feel that there is something more in the connection and there is more life in it than we have seen yet, and there is promise in it and there could be a good future in it also for us, then there is a certain degree of hope that we also have and certain degree of looking forward that we have. We want to derive from that energy. Whatever that coming together may be, coming together with a person whom you not have known earlier, or coming together with a organization which has come forward to employ you, or coming together in a partnership with somebody in a business. Similarly, when conjunctions happen in a horoscope, they are not by accident. They are meant to give you a signal. They are meant to give you an energy. It's meant to give you a possibility of certain results coming in our lives. So when we look at conjunctions, we should look at them with a lot of interest and a lot of seriousness, because they are really serious. In fact, conjunctions are important because when planets come together, they not only bring forth the individual energies, but they also bring forth the synthesized energy, and the energy grows exponentially also. So when we look at conjunctions of different house lords with different planets, the series that we are doing, it is very, very important because that specific area of that house will be influenced with the quality of the planet, and that planet will bring forth a number of results, different flavors to the results, different set of possibilities also. And in this, the third house is very, very important. I've made a video already in which I've described the third house lord as the third house as the key to your destiny, and the third house lord as the lord to the key to your destiny. Third house lord is holding the key, which is the key to the destiny because of it ruling the third house. So today we will be talking about, if the third house lord is in conjunction with the other planets, what kind of possibilities it is throwing up, what kind of promises it is throwing up, just like two people coming together where they are synergizing their energies together, they are bringing their individual capabilities together, individual competencies together to be able to do something great. So let's jump into and see, when the third house lord gets conjunct with different planets, what kind of possibilities it is throwing up for us. So let's go with the third house lord being conjunct with Sun. Now Sun, because it is the energy of responsibility, accountability, leadership, and an energy which is also a royal energy, a regal energy, but this is also the energy of the soul. So when Sun gets conjunct with the third house lord in the different areas that the third house lord will seek results, Sun will also play an important part. So because the third house is also the house of your communication, so the Sun will throw a lot of its own flavor into your communication. So such a person will be somebody who will be very authoritative in their communication, or at least will not be somebody who will lie down in the communication. They will use such words which will also keep their sense of self-respect, in fact even their pride. In terms of the people they are talking to, the person with Sun conjunct with the third house lord will also tailor-make their communication accordingly, but they will never move away from the authoritative communication or the demeanor that they have, the ability to hold their head high, to hold their own, even in those communications or even in those interactions which may be with people who are very, very senior up. So the person with Sun conjunct with the third house lord will talk with a lot of confidence, and will also introduce himself or herself with a lot of confidence and trying to impress the people, because the person himself feels that I am somebody, I am not a walkover. Same approach they will also bring to their work, because the third house is also the house of effort. So in their work they will also bring in a certain degree of responsibility, accountability. They will take ownership for their work. They will not shy away from the work. Only thing is, sometimes they may like to delegate the work. They don't like too much to get their hands dirty, especially if the work is not too very important. Somebody else can do it. So then they will delegate the more menial work to somebody else, and they may want to do the more important work. So this is a person who, even in their work, If they are working for somebody, will take the accountability, the responsibility, the leadership. But if they want to do something of their own, because the third house is also the house of self-enterprise, something that you do for yourself. So yeah, even in that communication, they will bring in more authority, because now it is their own business. Plus, the way they communicate, the way they market their capabilities, the way they market their products and services will also bring in that hint of leadership and accountability and responsibility. So if they have a website for their own work, there will be a market their products or services. They will want that product or service to be their business to be inaugurated by somebody who is very important. So they may go and tell somebody who is really important in the area, somebody who's maybe a senator, somebody who may be holding a very responsible government position, to come and open or inaugurate that. And they would like to work for the government. They may like to have projects from the government also, because they feel that being in an authoritative business where power and influence is also coming in is important for their business to be inaugurated by somebody who is very important. So they may go and tell somebody who is really important in the area, somebody who's maybe a senator, somebody who may be holding a very responsible government position, to come and open or inaugurate that. And they would like to work for the government. They may like to have projects from the government also, because they feel that being in an authoritative business where power and influence is also coming in is important for them, because that's what also they like. They also like to be treated with a lot of importance, and also through that be able to take up a lot of pride in their work. And that is the meaning of the third house lord getting conjunct with the planet or the planetary energy sun. Now, if the third house lord is conjunct with Mercury, so this is a person who is a master of communication. Mercury rules the third sign, anyways Gemini. So this is a person who knows what to say, when to say, who to say what to, who not what to say, which means they will also be a little guarded. They will give out information in piecemeal, knowing where to say what they don't have to give away. So they are also very measured. They are not just measured in their work, but they are also measured in their communication. They are measured in their work. Their work output will also have a certain degree of measurement, which means what should I do so that I get certain degree of output, certain degree of result, where I should put in effort, where I should not put in effort, where I will be able to get better results, maybe also get more data, more documentation also for what is the work that I've done. If somewhere I'm not going to be praised, I'm not going to get appreciated, why should I do that work? But if my department needs it, if this is going to be helpful, then I will work. So in everything, they will measure, they will work according to what is giving them an output. And there should be some analysis which they can do, some inference that they can do, not just my heart said I do a lot of work, hard work. No, they want data to be saying, or results to be protecting them or backing them up, saying yes, work was done. Because these people are all about numbers. They will all work with information. They will work with analytical numbers in their hand. Now, if this person wants to do something on their own, because the third house is also the house of self-enterprise, then they will do a lot of research, what they are getting into, what they are not getting into. And some part of it will be based on communication. The services or the products will to a large extent depend on what is the communication they bring in, how they market their products, how they influence people. So these people will also choose that which will help them to be able to interact with people. There will also be a fair degree of interaction with customers, with clients, that kind of product or services they will do. And they will also do a lot of research before they launch the product, before they launch their services. Their websites will also, if at all they have the website, of course they will want to, because it's all about communication. And not only the website, they may have 2 or 3 different avenues to be able to influence people to market their wares. On their website, there will be some big numbers which tell how their service could be good, where they have already worked in, the number of years they have worked, the number of customers they have served, the number of good ratings they have got. So even their website will have a lot of numbers, analytical data, so that the end customer should be able to appreciate that what they have history behind them and then come to them. So all of it is very measured. They also have channels where the clients or customers can communicate with them, and when they deal with clients, customers, or even their bosses at work, if they are working for somebody else, they will also see they have a very complete orientation to what results they can show. They should be able to show what is the work done, what is the output, if they have serviced a customer or client, how they have serviced, in what way they have serviced, and again backing that by themselves by numbers. Same thing with their bosses at work. So Mercury, when it is conjunct with the third house lord, will bring in a certain degree of flavor, analytical flavor, perfectionist oriented flavor, but a lot of communication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of number driven analysis and number driven approach that they have to work. Now if the third house lord is conjunct with Venus, now this is the person, because the third house lord is conjunct with Venus, the planet of beauty, love, affections, romance, but also that of sophistication, the charm, the person who can speak with a lot of suave, with a lot of panache. So this is a person who will charm the way to work. This is a person when they are interacting with somebody, because third house is the house of communication, so they will be people who are very good with their vocabulary, they are very sophisticated, they will know what are the words to use, they will use more business language, more business vocabulary as well. And in their approach to work, in their communication also, there will be a lot of finesse in their work. For example, a person with Sun may say, call me in this number if you want to reach me, because this person thinks is very important. The Mercury person may say, please call me or please reach me at this number. Just a please added, but to the point. The person with Venus may say, for the best kind of assistance, please reach me on this number. So there will be certain degree of sophistication, style and panache or charm that they want to add to. Secondly, when they are working for somebody else, when they are working under somebody else, even there, the effort will show. They will want to work with people who are important. Generally, these people end up working with very good looking people, because generally these people may also be somebody who wants to work with good people, good looking people, or in those areas of career where they can work with good products, they can work with both the richest arena of society, those people who are also have richer taste, because the third house lord is conjunct with Venus. So these people will bring in their finesse, will also bring in the charm, and they will also have good company who they work with. If they are working on their own, they are launching some product or service, they will also keep in mind the richness of the product or service that they are getting into, because they will want to do work with those people who are maybe slightly upmarket of society, bringing in more finesse to their work, bringing in a certain richness to the work, certain degree of quality to the work, and basis that only they will launch their products or services. So a lot of effort, a lot of work on the communication, on the charm, on the beauty, on the sophistication of the approach, whether they're working for somebody or they're doing something of their own, and their products and services also will have the Venus flavor if they are at all doing something of their own. And that is the result of the third house lord getting conjunct with Venus. If the third house lord is conjunct with Moon, now this is a person who will be very understanding in their communication, empathetic in their communication, very supportive in their communication. Those are the words also that will emanate from their mouth. So they will say, I can feel what you are saying, I can completely relate to what you are saying, I understand what you are going through, I can completely empathize with you. So these are the words. When the third house lord is conjunct with Moon, these are the words generally they will use. And this person in their work also will bring in that supportive tendency. They will very rarely be able to tell no to somebody who is asking for a favor. So if you ask a person with the third house lord conjunct with Moon, I need a favor from you, can you help me? Very rarely will a person with the third house lord conjunct with Moon turn you down. They will ensure that they approach you, they will ensure that they come forward to help you, they will stand by you, and they will give you all the support and whatever favor you need from them. Same thing in their work. Admin at their work, generally they will be somebody who is very empathetic toward the co-workers, very supportive toward the co-workers, and they will also be somebody who may even mother their co-workers to some extent by trying to get into their personal lives. Not that they want to, but because they are so affectionate, so they are so understanding, they are so very empathetic, people will open up and treat them like agni ants, and then these people will also mother them back. So this is the flavor that they bring some part of home also to their work. They also bring some part of that motherly affection or the caring affection of the Moon to their co-workers, to the colleagues that they work with. And same thing they will do even with their bosses. If their bosses feel a little down, out, tired, they'll say, boss, why are you working so hard? Go home, I will take care of everything. You don't look good to me. Go and take rest. Or they will say, I will get you some medicine. Do you want me to send the office boys for something? Do you want me to order something for you? So this is also the affectionate, the caring and sincere caring effort that they will show. If they're doing something of their own, some business of their own, it will surely be something which will bring in that caring attitude, also supportive attitude, nourishment attitude also. But there will also be a technological bent of mind, a finesse, technological finesse also which comes in. And there will also be a lot of creativity, innovation also, a lot of imagination also. Not only in the products and services, but even how they communicate. Their website will also be very, very imaginative, very, very creative, very supportive. And even the word they use would be, we care for you, that's why we are doing this. We know what you go through when your car breaks down, so we have launched this service. So even in the communication, that will come in. So a person who will be working with a lot of empathy, communicate with empathy, supportive approach to work, supportive approach to their colleagues, supportive approach even to their bosses, somebody who works with a lot of heart, with a lot of understanding, and that's also how they do business. And that is the conjunction of the third house lord with moon. Now with the third house lord is conjunct with Mars, this is a very, very dynamic energy, because Mars is also the Karaka of the third house. So this is a very, very potent energy, one of the best energies to have, especially where effort comes in. So this is the person who will not leave any stone unturned to put in a lot of hard work. Anything, if you want something to be achieved, you give the work, you give the project, you give the responsibility to somebody with the third house lord conjunct with Mars. This person will ensure that the work gets done by hook or by crook. And many a time these people don't mind getting their hands dirty. If they feel they have delegated work to somebody and the person is not doing it, they will step in. They will also take some responsibility, because they will meet the deadline at any cost. And that's how they work. They'll push hard. They will also be the ones who will crack the whip. They will also be the one who will push other departments. They will also not hesitate to scream and shout if need be, but pushing forward with a clear killer instinct, as if you don't do their work and if you're responsible for the work, you have had it. That is the very assertive, dynamic approach to work, and that's how they get work done. And that's why many a time these people, by the sheer enthusiasm, sheer hard work, sheer willpower, sheer motivation, they get work done. And these are also the people who rise very high. But sometimes it so happens they don't rise fast enough. And so they also think, why should I do work under somebody else? So some point of time, the person with the third house lord conjunct with Mars will always think, at least once in life, why shouldn't I do something of my own? If they do that, they will also put in the double the energy that they're doing for work. It is like putting 100% of energy at work, because that's how they are, and they put 200-300% of energy for their own work. They will not know any hours of work. They will not know what rest means. They will work so hard, they will burn themselves up. And yet, if given a chance, they will still get up and continue to do work further. So very assertive, very, very killer instinct. And even in the communication, they will bring forth that energy. They will not use very flowery words like the Venus person may bring, or the empathy oriented, I feel what you're going through, I understand your concern, but please do this for me, this is very important, customers are waiting. This is not the communication of the person who has third house lord conjunct with Mars. The Mars person will be, you better do it, this is your responsibility, if you don't do it, then you have had it. This is the direct, straightforward communication of such a person. However, they may not use the same words, but their tone will be the same, the mannerism will be the same, that they mean business. If they do business on their own also, the same thing they will also bring into their clients, how they work. They will also have a lot of freebies given or good things given if targets are met to their people also, even to the customers, because targets are very, very important, very, very paramount. And they will strategize every step of the way. They will strategize when they do something of their own. They have strategy at work, even if they work for somebody else, with the same dynamism and energy, and the same way they also bring it to their self-effort. And that is the conjunction of the third house lord with Mars. If the third house lord is conjunct with Jupiter, this is a very, very good energy, where the person can be somebody who is an advisor, consultant, guide, wherever they work. So this is a person who is very wise in how they work. First of all, they will also bring in that wisdom orientation in their communication. They may say that I understand what these challenges are, I have experienced this earlier, in an earlier situation this is what happened. So they will bring in their experiences into their vocabulary also, into their communication also. Or they may bring up something that they learned, something that they have read up, something that they have not only experienced but also been heard from some other experts, from other gurus. That's how they will put forward, and that's how they will sell their wares That's how they will sell the ideas, because I heard this from somebody who himself or herself is very competent. They are the leader of the business. They know what they're talking about. They are experts. So you better listen. Or I've already experienced this. I've already gone through it. So I know what I mean. So let's do this way. So that's how they bring it. That's what their communication style is also. And because they seem to be very learned, they seem to be very competent, generally they are listened to and their advice is also followed. Same thing they do when they work with their bosses. They will suggest things to them. They will advise how things should be done rather than telling this is how we should be doing. So the way they communicate will be, boss, I suggest we look at this. I advise that we look at this. We should be looking at this before we go ahead. I think this makes better sense. I think this is wiser. I think with this we will experience better gains. So this is their communication that the third house lord conjunct with Jupiter will also bring in. If they want to do something of their own, generally there will be teachers, guides, advisors, consultants who are telling you what to do rather than actually doing it. And these are people who will generally procrastinate 10,000 years before they decide what they want to do. So before they get into, they will think a lot. Should I really do this? Let me look up information whether this will be successful. Let me talk to other people who are experts. Let me talk to people who have already been successful in this. So after a lot of thought process, talking to this person, talking to that person, going into the market, collecting data, or after all of that, then they'll still think through before they go ahead and do something. And so because teaching, advising, guiding comes easy to them, it is natural for them, they end up doing this. Many of the YouTubers, even like me, though I don't have Jupiter in the third house, they have some connection with the third house. They will have third house very strongly in some way getting connected to Jupiter, especially if it's in a consulting, guiding, advising work or an expertise that they bring into their work, to their business. Or they may have Mercury maybe. So if the third house lord is conjunct with Jupiter, keep in mind that sometimes it may be other end of the spectrum where procrastination may not work for you. So if you have third house lord with Jupiter, conjunct with Jupiter, and if you want to do your business, keep this in mind. Go with a lot of energy, use your Martian energy to get success. And that is the effect of the third house lord conjunct with Jupiter. If the third house lord is conjunct with Saturn, this is a strongly team player. But this is one of the best placements to do something of your own rather than work for somebody else. The third house lord conjunct with Saturn is usually a person who has worked for people, others, worked long hours, but has not grown much. And usually they have been told, be patient, you will get your growth, be patient, you will get your increment, be patient, company is not doing very well. And by they kept being told that be patient, wait for it, something will happen, hardly they get the actual right fruits of the labor which they deserve, because these are the most hard-working people. Even in their communication, they will be like, do you want help? Can I do something for you? Where did I miss out? So they are very humble in their communication. It's all about, can I do something? Can I better something? Boss, are you happy with this? Boss, did I do a good job? This is the approach, very humble and sometimes not very sure of themselves also. And that's why sometimes they can also be taken for granted. But some of the most hardworking people, very down-to-earth people, very humble people, whether in the communication, whether at work, putting long hard hours of work, and through sheer hard work, that becomes the key to their destiny. If they do something of their own, which they are most likely to do over a period of time, especially if Saturn is going into the third house also conjunct with third house lord, then these people after some time, usually in their late 30s, they may end up doing something of their own. But after working very hard in something else and seeing that nothing is working, then they will bend their back more than anybody else and end up doing their own work. And here they will be the master, they will also be the guide, they will also be the helper, they will also be the worker who's doing almost everything. So these people will contribute the most when they do their business on their own. Their website, the communication will also have some way a worker standing in the image. For example, if they're starting a service center, they will have somebody standing with a tool, on their website, apart from all the luxury cars, showing that this is a service center. And with that hard-working humility approach, they will do their gains very slowly over a period of time. But one of the best stable results come to these people who have third house lord conjunct with Saturn. Now, if the third house lord is conjunct with Rahu, this is one of the best placements for those people who know how the world today works. This is not the person third house lord conjunct with Saturn who will work very hard to get their gains. This is the smart person, street smart person. This is a person who knows that hard work doesn't sell so much, doesn't work so much in today's world. Smart work sells. So this is a person who may bribe a team member to step in and work for them while he goes out and hangs out with the powers to be, with the bosses. So if he is able to convince the bosses, don't worry boss, I've got John who will be doing that work for us, or I will turn that work over to you tomorrow, don't worry. So he will also tell them that everything is under control, but in the meanwhile he would have had a John who has already stepped in to work for him, because he's put offered him, he is somehow convinced him, saying that I will give you that big gift, or I'll take you out for dinner. And John says okay, and John is more of a Saturn person maybe, so he gives in to the person who is a Rahu person, third house lord conjunct with Rahu, ends up doing his work. And Rahu is somebody who is very tactful, who is very diplomatic. In his communication also, he keeps everybody charmed, he keeps everybody happy, he keeps everybody manipulated also. He's the one who can use alternate facts to get the work done, to get the business done also. And even in their communication, they will tell only so much by which you are going to be convinced. Much of what should be communicated, should be told, may not be given. If somebody asks them, they may say, it was not important, I didn't feel it important, or you didn't ask me, or if you want to know that, I'll bring it to you. So this is the person who will do business, or their communication will be around being more selective in their work, in their effort, selective in their communication, also selective in how to work and where to work. And so these people, through sheer tact but also brilliance of their mind, they know where what is going to sell. So in their communication, in their marketing and branding, these are some of the most gifted people, some of those people who have had extremely creative, extremely innovative, extremely out of the world, out of the box marketing ads, promotion approaches, promotion efforts are the people with Rahu conjunct with the third house lord. These are the people who have come out with the most innovations by their own self-effort, by their own self-enterprise, because of which the world is a better world today. A number of innovations that we see around us, most of it would have some Rahu energy coupled with the third house lord and third house energy of effort and enterprise. So these people, when they do their business, they also do the business in a similar manner. They may attract people with similar energies, similar thought processes, similar hunger and greed for success, and using the combined energies and exponentially growing energies, then they do business. So these people can be very, very successful in their work, in their career when they are working for somebody, but also in their business, because they have the tact, they have the wherewithal, they know how to sell, they know how to work, they know how to tie up, they know how to partner with others, and through that sheer energy, innovation, out of the box thinking, ultimately being very successful, is the energy of the third house lord conjunct with Rahu. If the third house lord is conjunct with Ketu, this is a person whose communication will also show that this is a Ketu person. So this is a person who may be a little laid back, not laid back in terms of work. This is a hard-working person, one of the people who will be working the hardest, but it does not come out from their communication. This person will not say, I worked so hard, I worked through the night. This person may say, when somebody asks, hey, this is not done well, what happened? So this person will say, okay, sorry boss, I think I missed out, I will correct it and bring. This is not the person who will say, he's not like the Mars person who will say, oh boss, I worked through the night, you are looking at only one small mistake, come on, I will correct it. But look at the other things that also have in front of you. Come on boss, for once be appreciative. What are you doing? So this is not the guy who will push back also. This is the guy who will say, oh, this was a mistake. Okay, let me have a look. Let me correct and come back to you. So this is the energy which the Ketu person will bring in. Not pushing back hard, not standing up for themselves, being a little procrastinating, being a little laid back, not being manipulative, not being tactful, not being very diplomatic, but just going with the flow. And because of which many times these people are the ones who are less recognized, even lesser appreciated with the third house lord conjunct with Saturn. So sometimes these people have to work much harder than others to be able to grow, to be able to earn a better remuneration, to be able to get a better livelihood. If these people ever think that we should do something of our own, launch something of our own, the same energy they will bring in. A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, but they are not the very intelligent, the suave type. They are not the clever type to know how to communicate, how to market, how to be able to attract customers, how to influence people, how much money to put in, how much money not to put in, what partnerships to attract, what partnerships to be able to get in, who to give what, who not to give what, where to hold back, they don't know. So many times these people have to work 3 times, 4 times harder, and usually they end up giving more. If somebody says, boss, if somebody tells them, boss, this is a lot of hard work, I need some more, otherwise I can't come, they will give in. They will not push back and say, you can't do, you get lost, I will do it, like the Martian energy. So this is slightly tougher conjunction of the third house lord with Ketu. However, if you are somebody who can push hard, use your Martian energy, bring up the willpower, strong willpower to be able to do better, then over a period of time, the zodiac gives you success because you are more giving, you are one of the most charitable people, you are one of the most humble people, you are one of the most hardworking people around. That is the energy of the third house lord conjunct with Ketu. So friends, now that we have discussed how the third house lord conjunct with different planets will bring in their different energies, will bring in their own permutations and combinations, see which house your third house lord is placed, with what planet they are, because where the conjunction occurs will also bring in its own flavor, and using that energy, turn the key to destiny and make your own destiny. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.